What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with Truth Table. Welcome to the table. Today, I'm going to be discussing something that may be a little controversial, but that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. Like, if y'all don't know by now, this is who I am. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get ready. Go ahead and serve up this meal. I'm going to go ahead and slide into the kitchen because like I said before, and I'm going to keep saying it, on this channel, we get cooking. Now, today what I want to discuss is why I have an issue with black women saying they care about black men. But let that sink in for a second. That's right. I said it. I have an issue with black women saying they care about black men. The reason why this topic came up is because being a black man myself, I have observed, experienced things amongst my community in my lifetime that are somewhat troubling. Now, the reason why this topic is relevant is because a lot of things are going on now with the media, social media, and so on, to where there seems to be somewhat of opposing sides, but then at the same time, you have parties within our community, specifically black women, who will claim that they love and care about black men, or that they have problems when black men date out or swirl or, commingle with the females that are not of the community. Now, what led me to want to talk about this, at least at this point, and I'm sure I'll expound upon it further and probably touch on it more as I continue my YouTube journey. But what led me to talk about this is because I digest a lot of content myself. I watch certain content creators, everyone from Kevin Samuels to Fresh and Fit to Coach Greg Adams to Lapeef Let's Talk to Six the Goddess, several. And all these content creators have their own points of view. Now, what I think is interesting is that black women collectively will say they care and love black men. And it has been often said that black women are probably the most loyal to black men compared to black men not being loyal to them. The statistics don't state that when it comes to the demise of particular relationships, marriages, even down to just dating. If you ask the average black woman who broke up with who, she's usually the one ending the relationship. And then they'll spin in and talk about various things on why they broke up with the person. Because the man was no longer giving them what they thought that they deserved. Or the man was no longer respecting them the way that they felt they were supposed to be respected. And blasé and blah, blah, right? Why do I have a problem with the propaganda, I would call it, being spewed that black women really love and care about black men? Well, my stance is coming from the perspective that it only seems to be a particular type of black man. It seems to be a black man that is representing of status, sexual appeal, success, and money. I do not hear black women at large complaining about the average black man, a Keith or Larry who may work at the post office or may hold a job at Macy's as a salesman, or may pick up trash for a living, or be a dog groomer, whatever it may be. The only time I hear my community complaining about black men is when the man has excelled to a level of success that most people in their lifetime will never reach. Someone who's a celebrity, someone who represents a status that they feel they're entitled to because he's a black man. And so when this man now makes it excels to a level that is prestigious, that is something that represents quality, something that you can be proud about. And these are elite situations, mind you. Then it's a problem. When it is a Tiger Woods, a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, a Drake, a Future, People like that who have a public figure persona, who have a lifestyle that represents status, luxury, leisure, and all these things that, again, are desirable to most people, but specifically black women. You don't hear black women talking about black men at large. You don't hear them talking about black men that don't necessarily stand at the stature that they feel is the most desirable. I don't hear black women complaining about men who are 5'5" or 5'8" and seeing him date someone who is non-black, a white girl or Asian or Latin or whatever he may choose. I don't see or hear that. What I hear is when it is someone who is representing a lifestyle that they feel they deserve. Now, that brings me to my next point. Black women. Is it really about black men? Or is it about what comes with a black man that is successful? Or comes with a black man that represents a societal equity when it maybe his sex appeal that now allows you to walk into a room or walk into certain settings with this man while you're on his arm, and now you get the high five. Hey girl, you did that. Hey girl, see you. Or when you guys go to the restroom, because we all us men know that when you go to the restroom, it's like a freaking social club. What happens in a restroom for women is like a man going to the barbershop. Outside of her going in there getting her hair done or whatever, they go in there to talk. It is a whole new world in the restroom for women. That it is a social club. Information is exchanged. Friendships are built. Egos are stroked. All this happens in a woman's restroom. And specifically when she walks into a place that she has a man on her arm that is attractive to other women, stands at a stature that is desirable to other women, or in a case that he may be holding a high level position, maybe at a company mixer. He's the VP of marketing, or he so happens to be the COO, or even a CEO. Whatever. These are the type of men that I hear my black women talk about, women in my community talk about, and have an issue with. See, it's not the average Joes that are hardworking, God-fearing, integral men who represent some of the same quality characteristics as probably any other man. But see, that's not what seems to be ruffling the feathers of women in my community. It seems that the only time you hear about it is when it is men that are uber successful. Men that more than likely you would never have the opportunity to be with even if you paid the man. And that is where the problem lies. You cannot say you love black men, stand with black men, want black men, when there's a specific type of black man. There's a specific type of man you're talking about. See, when you say you love black men, that's a collective. That means all different shapes and sizes. That means all different, skill sets, swag levels, cool points, athletic ability or lacking athletic ability. That means across the board a plethora. But that's not what black women are talking about. What they're talking about is they want men who are superior in a way that is coolness, social status, financial gains, success. And it usually embodies that. Now, on the flip side, there's also another part of this particular argument that I'm posing, that it's not always the successful men. Sometimes it's the men that represent the sex appeal that the average black man may not have. Like this particular guy may, like I said, be tall or have colored eyes or have a certain complexion. He represents the sex appeal that most women may desire. I'll give you an example. Michael B. Jordan has been talked about more in the black community ever since he did that movie Black Panther. And he was, it's slipping my mind. Hummonger, one of them figures. I know I'm jacking it up. Forgive me, but he was the enemy of Black Panther. But what it was when they were, spewing the reviews and stuff about his particular character, it was the fact that his physique was of desire, of prestige. He was muscular. He was, beefy. It looked good. The boy was solid, right? But Michael B. Jordan has been acting for years. I mean, to the point to where when he was younger and he was wormy looking, real skinny with the braids, nobody was checking for this dude. Nobody was mentioning him. He wasn't gracing the front of magazines claiming that he's the sexiest man alive and all that. No. It is only when he leveled up. And mind you, if Michael B. Jordan wasn't on screen, I don't think Michael B. Jordan would get the same attention that he gets. Because it just so happens that, yes, he's a attractive black man and he's now has a physique, but he also has a position. He also has status. And see, on top of the way that he may look, see, he offers something that is desirable to black women. And that's a world that most of them have never even lived. It is a lifestyle that most of them have never even experienced. And that's my problem with the situation, because there's a ton of black men who are qualified to be with a black woman, who are qualified to be with a woman based on the fact that he's a good man. He's a solid man. He works hard. He provides for himself. He is, a good citizen, a great community provider, so on and so forth. Good person. But see, that guy, Keith or Larry, who work at the post office, that guy's not going to get the attention from you because you're too busy waiting around and looking for this man that has a Rolls Royce or stands 6'3" with a six-pack, great straight white teeth, a strong jawline, who can scoop you up and carry you everywhere or pay your bills, things like that. And I think it's downright ridiculous. I think that black women, in large, are single because they have unrealistic expectations. They live in a state of delusion that is so sickening, and it repels most men. See, men collectively do listen and hear at least what women want, what they desire. And I believe that most men, black men specifically for this broadcast, listen, hear what most women like, desire, and want, and do their best to try to embody, if not represent, those potential characteristics or desirable traits. But the problem is see, the black men are competing with the media representation of the uber successful black men. And I'm sorry, but if you're average Keith or average Larry working at the post office or Macy's, you have the media machine that exists is almost undefeated, fellas. It's almost undefeated. And I have an issue with black women trying to make arguments and waves in the space that is media, the space that is YouTube, the space that is Facebook, and so on and so forth, the multiple media outlets, that here goes another one, another sellout, another brother giving up on the community, or not bringing his success back to the community. Why can't a black woman experience him? Why can't he marry a black woman? What's wrong with us sisters? I'll tell you what's wrong. If you're not willing to give the same respect, the same devotion, the same love, the same attention, the same effort to Larry or Keith that work at the post office, how dare you think that you deserve a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or Michael B. Jordan? How dare you? You don't just grow to the top of the mountain. You walk that joint, level to level. And half of y'all do not know how to even get along with black men collectively. What in the heck makes you think that a black man that actually is doing way better than most people on the planet will waste his time with you as the level of basic that you may be? Are you equipped to be in his world? Are you equipped to understand that a man of that stature and that status, one, doesn't need you, two, you are in competition for his attention, as well as the other girls, hundreds if not thousands, if not millions, that are standing in line trying to get that same man's attention, time, and energy? What makes you so special? And that's my issue. See, if I heard more black women talking about they just want a black man, someone who's quality, someone who's integral and honest, someone who's hardworking and consistent, then I wouldn't have nothing to say. This broadcast right here wouldn't even exist. But that's not what's going on, women. That's not what's going on, my sisters. Nah, that's not what's going on at all. And this is not new. I'm 35 years old. I have seen, heard, and witnessed this same energy, this same regurgitated outlook, perspective, since I was young. You hear things like, oh, you're not black enough, or you're not hood enough, you're not strong enough of what they assume strength to be. Because the dysfunction that exists a lot of times within my community, specifically within my community with the women, is that you guys don't have enough interactions with men because of the level of how the families are divided to even know how to identify what a real man looks like, what he acts like, what he moves like, what he expects in the first place. You're not experts on black men as a whole. Matter of fact, most women that aren't black are better experts on the black men than black women themselves. Yes, I said it. And I'm not taking it back, because that's what it is. You want to know why you're losing? You're losing because you lack the ability to want to be adaptable. You lack the ability to want to even be able to get along with average Keith, the average Larry. This is another person. Now, I'm all for attraction. I'm all for what you may desire and so on and so forth. But half, if not most of the time, you yourself do not physically qualify for an uber successful man. And the audacity that you think from a false ego place that you're so unique and special, when there are other women that are options to black men on this planet. If you want to have better outcomes, black women, then why don't you start by opening up to more men that are more qualified to be with you and you're more qualified to be with, instead of thinking and standing in line for this false sense of Cinderella desire that some dude who is on that level is going to come and pluck you out of the millions that he can have and put you in a position to experience his lifestyle. Not your lifestyle, his lifestyle. I like that line in one of the songs where it said, you weren't with me shooting in the gym. And you weren't. You do not go from making minimum wage to being put in a manor and driving a Rolls Royce. There's work associated with that. Women. So, this may seem like a little bit of a rant, and it was. I wanted to speak to the problem that is the perception of most black women. Stop having a problem with the very small number of black men that journey out of the community to date out, because it's a small percentage. It's not even half. It's not even 10%. So I would think that the only reason why we're hearing about it is because of who the men are. If you love black men, then be nice to black men. If you truly have a heart for black men, then start being more compliant. Start being more palatable. Start being more welcoming to the average black man. Not the ones that pull up in the car that you want or you think are nice. Not the ones that stunt in the clothes that you got, rocking the clothes that you think are prestigious. And not the ones that you see on your freaking TV. You need to start grade 1. ABC 1, 2, 3. Start there. That's my suggestion. That's my broadcast for today. I would love to hear the feedback, the comments. I welcome it. Because I told you when I started and I got in this kitchen, I was going to get cooking. Stop with the nonsense, black women. Treat all black men with the same respect that you would treat that man, a Michael B. Jordan, a Drake, and so on and so forth. But that's my broadcast for today. I'm going to go ahead and step out the kitchen. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. For those who hung out with me for the 20 minutes or so, I appreciate it. I had to touch on this topic, and I know I'm going to have to follow it up, and that's fine. That's what I'm here for. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm out. Till next time.